Fortnite Ranked. Fortnite Ranked was meant to be the main competitive playlist, replacing Arena back in Chapter 4 Season 2. Ranked has 8 different ranks: Bronze, Silver, Gold, Platinum, Diamond, Elite, Champion and Unreal. The idea was that players would play in a more competitive Battle Royale and work their way up the ranks by playing well, but going down if they play poorly. However, with a ranked player base declining down to just 20k players at a time at most, Fortnite needs a solution, and so at the Global Championship in Lyon, France, Epic Games commentators announced the arrival of Ranked 2.0 in 2026. So what made Ranked fail? And most importantly, what should Ranked be this time? Well, let's start by looking at the ranks. As we've already said, the ranks are Bronze, Silver, Gold, Platinum, Diamond, Elite, Champion and Unreal. Now in theory the system works. Get your rank in your first match, then play as good as you can every game to go up as far as possible in the ranks. The higher the rank, the better the players. However, this system isn't very viable across seasons and needs to be changed. The problem is to do the goal of reaching Unreal. Now players who grind to Unreal from the start of the season and rank up quickly will face tougher lobbies that they will play in. However, the system fails in the latter of the season. Players who play ranked later in the season will face players who aren't as good, since so many people have already got into Unreal. This means that reaching, say, Elite at the start of the season compared to the end of the season will be more impressive, not only because of it being done quicker, but also because of the level of the players in each lobby will be higher at the start. Secondly, some players will be carried by their friends to Unreal. For example, Courage JD has been carried to Unreal many times, which, no offence to Courage JD, isn't anywhere near the level an Unreal player should be. Now some people will pay for a team to carry them to Unreal as well, which piles on from the reason I've already mentioned. Now this will end up creating a system where people will make money carrying other people to Unreal, and in doing so, if they go and choose to play ranked, then it will overall be a less competitive Unreal match, which is something that it shouldn't be. It should be the highest level only. Now another reason for ranked failing was its lack of consistency. Sometimes it had the same loot pool as pubs, and then sometimes the same loot pool as tournaments. This creates an unstable and uncompetitive loot pool that compensates for players who don't even play ranked. For example, we can look at Chapter 5 Season 3, when cars and Nitro are in meta. Now while Epic have made the loot pool strictly competitive for a foreseeable future, it's one of many changes that needs to be made, and the loot pool ends up becoming uncompetitive when it's catering to casuals, when it's the same as pubs, which casuals aren't playing ranked, and if they are, well, then they shouldn't be getting overpowered items which are making them able to compete against players who have actually worked their way up to the higher ranks like Unreal, Elite, Champion, etc. The last reason is not knowing how to rank up. Currently it's about eliminations, but then sometimes it's about placement. The rank system needs to be clear on how to rank up, something which its predecessor Arena did. With no clue on how to rank up, players just hope for the best and do whatever they think is going to get them the most rank, even though that we've got no clue and it requires a ton of testing to see what is actually the most optimal and viable way of ranking up properly. So what should Rank 2.0 be? Well, let's start by how you rank up. I believe it should mirror tournaments. Now yes, you're probably thinking, for a different tournament playlist, some will end up going more on placement, some will be more on eliminations. So how do you decide on one, taking into account the different modes as well? Well, you don't. Solos, duos, trios and squads should all get separate ranks. This would prevent people from getting carried to Unreal, as there's zero incentive to bother, especially when your solo rank will probably be what people base your skill on, and will probably be what your rank fella should be anyway. Now as for the ranked, I'm going to make a slight change. Unreal should only be the top 250 in every region. This will mean that you can de-rank from Unreal if you don't play well, or you just don't play Unreal. The players who reach Unreal at the start of the season will still have a reason to play and make matches a lot more competitive when you're playing an Unreal ranked. So that's how to structure Rank 2.0, tournament styled, ranks for each mode, and Unreal being top 250 only. Let me know what you do in the comments below, and while you're down there, please leave a like and subscribe, and check out my other videos too. Goodbye.